Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Football Heritage Podcast. Today with us we have Josh, Elliot and Denzel. We've just witnessed Man City and Pep complete the 4P. What are our immediate reactions? Because to me it's unprecedented what's going on.
It's just boring. It's just boring.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. There's something that ain't right about this. There's some witchcraft going on.
I think
there's other good teams. Why does it always have to be them? I know I've got a red shirt on, yeah, but that don't mean nothing right now. I'm looking at this from a neutral point of view.
I think in terms of Manchester City, like Elliot said, it's boring. It's like with Man City, they're a soulless institution. That's the big issue with them. It's you see the players when they're celebrating. It doesn't mean as much to them.
It's very subdued.
I hate Arsenal, and I think it's on record that I hate Arsenal. I wanted them to win the league today because at least they have soul, at least they have passion,
at least they have history.
Exactly. It's not even necessarily about the history. It's just at least the club has that soul to them. Like Man City feels like a bunch of robots playing on the pitch.
Saying that though, credit where it's due. Like, I can't find a City player that I don't like watching play, like individually. Like De Bruyne's quality, Foden's quality, Doku is quality, Rodri's quality, but as a team, I just don't like it. Something's not right, and like you said, it's soulless.
And also, I feel like this season, I don't know if it's just me, I don't think they've played that great throughout the whole. They've played all right, obviously, but
they lost some silly games though.
Yeah,
they lost some silly games. Like looking back, I forget what.
But I still feel like they've not even touched 80-90% of where they could be.
Or who?
City, and like it feels like Arsenal have had to be perfect, and those two slip-ups against Villa, Fulham, and West Ham have cost them basically, isn't it?
I think we have to give credit where credit's due. Innit? The first team to do a 4P, is an unbelievable achievement. And I think we also have to be honest. The highs that they're coming towards, I think going back to what you're saying, is always going to be hard to sustain, isn't it? So there's always going to be a drop off in that sense. So I think it's a bit harsh to say they're not been playing at their best. I think it's just a natural decline in that sense. You know? So
it's got to end someday, hasn't it?
I mean,
it has to end someday.
Pep's going to leave at the end of the next season.
Yeah.
I think there's a big chance he might leave at the end of.
Can't wait for the day.
Season.
Or he might extend one last time till 2026 and have 10 years. He would have been here for 10 years then.
Potentially.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which is, I think, is like a good way for him.
It has gone quite quick, like since he became City manager.
But think, he's won 6 league titles in the 8 seasons he's been here. That is crazy.
Pep as a manager, I never doubt it. Like he has always been a good manager.
He's legit.
Some are now saying, "Oh, he's the GOAT." He's not the GOAT, but he's very much up there. I have to admit that.
I think he's number 2 in terms of GOAT status. In fact, I'll be completely honest. In terms of like football in general, I can understand why people make the case that Pep is the GOAT. Because obviously, what he's done at Barcelona, what he's done at Bayern. But the reason why I'll never put him as my GOAT or a GOAT in general is because he's never really had to take a team from the ground up and build it to a point in which they can be champions.
Which Fergie very much had to do with United years ago.
And not even necessarily with United, he did it with Aberdeen as well. I would like to see Pep Guardiola go to a team that's not necessarily leading the league, and take them to the top. Because until you do that,
like an AC Milan or something.
No, Milan's even still a big team. I'd rather.
Yeah, they're established, but right now they're not winning everything.
Like a West Ham or something.
The only thing
he wants back a tie, he might as well go.
The only way he kind of goes to kind of a level that's subpar is international football.
I would like to see him.
I don't see him. He's managed 3 of Europe's top 5 leagues already. He's not going to manage this like a rival in the.
Where else does he go?
Juventus, no. PSG, no. So that's it.
Juventus ain't even the best team in Italy.
Napoli, he wouldn't go Napoli. It's literally.
I think you know what, Juventus would actually make sense. Yeah. Because then you can kind of get rid of the narrative that you go to the best team in the league and just.
Think of Arsenal, because 2 seasons now they come runners up. They've got 92 points, is it? No, 89 points. 89 points, which is an improvement of last year. So they've actually
been a title winning school before.
To me, they've had the best defence in the league as well. They've conceded the least amount of goals. They haven't scored. I don't think they've scored.
They've probably scored the most.
No, I think it's tying now. I think
goal difference. Goal difference.
So they've improved from last year. So it's not as if like they've took a step back or anything.
Josh, what do you think about Arsenal?
Yeah.
My take with them is they've always needed that true superstar player. The only player I see that is probably of that ilk is like a Liao, in terms of a real game changer.
Like a forward.
I kind of want to follow on from you for that. It's the striker they need.
I disagree.
They don't need. Gabriel Jesus is not a title-winning striker anymore.
You don't.
The thing that scoring goals hasn't been an issue.
And
for them.
also-
I don't think it's-
I genuinely
it's
believe you
like-
cannot win the league with a false nine either.
I disagree.
You can 'cause City did.
I disagree.
City did.
If you,
Haaland's not a
if
false
you-
nine.
If you look at teams,
No, before Haaland came, City were winning the league with false nines. They didn't have a traditional striker.
And-
I think you can win it. Arsenal score enough goals
City do weird.
to win the league? It's just, I think they need more squad depth. That's the issue with them.
No, they got enough.
No, that's
squad
good.
I think they need more
That's
squad
all
depth.
They need someone to
depth.
rotate.
Arteta doesn't rotate.
They
very
need
well.
someone to rotate with Saka. They need another number 8 or number 6, and then they need maybe a left back. That is it.
No, they don't need to rotate with Saka.
Yeah.
You don't rotate your star players. You just need. At the end of the day, I just feel like they just need that real game changer. I don't see.
Yeah.
Because actually, you're saying Jesus. Jesus is probably a.
He's a good striker, but
Yeah.
he's not.
And before his
way he's
injury,
playing
he was
lately, he's not title-winning quality.
playing really
I mean,
well.
Saka can change games. I'm not just this.
This season, he was not a title-winning striker, and you've got to say
But,
that.
but this idea that you need strikers is false. Because look at Solanke, 20 goals. Where are Bournemouth? 9th, 10th? Watkins,
But that's because it's Bournemouth.
he scored like 20 goals. Bowen scored 19 goals. All these forwards that are scoring 20 goals. The idea that you need someone
You need a complete team.
you don't need a 20 goal season striker to win the league. You don't.
It does help to have.
It helps, but even Liverpool when they won the league,
I mean,
they
let's face it,
had,
last
they had
season
two
it was
forwards
hard.
that scored 15 goals each.
I mean,
Last season it was
they're
hard.
pretty much strikers, though, in a sense.
yeah.
Especially when
the-
Firmino was there.
But what Arsenal have done well this season is they've shared the goals out a lot more, and it isn't just Martinelli and Saka scoring all the goals.
Yeah, I think we should move on from Arsenal. Quickly skim through Liverpool. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp's last season. What do we think of that? We'll go round and then. Well, I'm going to quickly speak on it. I don't give a toss personally. It was a big disappointment. Only won a Carabao Cup, but yeah, sorry, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think he's done remarkably well to compete for this long. He's had a couple of seasons where he's dropped off, but unfortunately for him, it's the way it goes. He could have had 3 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues. Ends up with 1 each.
He's won a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, a Champions League, and a Premier League in 10 seasons. And they're comparing him to Fergie. Amad Diallo, I'm out.
No, I mean, you gotta look at it in totality
Yeah.
in terms of where they started when he came. They were pretty
Still are.
Come on.
But you know what? Now it's come. Alright, fair enough. They're in a better place for him.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
let's be neutral for a
Like,
second.
he is an iconic figure in the Premier League. Whether you say he's of like a
Amad for the semi-final. Sorry, I can't get over that. That's
no, but maybe like you're not gonna say he's like the top 2 or top 1. Don't really matter. But
No.
in terms of what he's created in Liverpool, just more, and it goes down. It's not even what you achieve because at the same time Pep has achieved great things, but it's also
one
how
thing
you
I
make
won't
people
miss though is
feel,
his
innit?
excuses for losing games. Like
Yeah.
some of the things
But
he came
also,
out with for losing games were unbelievable.
Many people would argue that he probably played the best football for 2 seasons. When they got 97 points and won the league, and the season after they won the league, they were probably...
Well, the heavy metal football.
Yeah, everyone
That's
loved
when he
that.
first came.
Everyone loved
When
that,
he
didn't
first
they?
came, no, Madden
Heavy metal.
And it killed them out. Guys like Robbo are burnt out now.
I have a question though. Where do we think he ranks in terms of all-time Premier League managers?
5th or 6th.
Nah, top 10, nowhere near above 8th or 9th.
I think that's a bit harsh.
I think 5th
I'll give him top 5.
I think 5th or 6th.
But look at all the great managers that are managing the Premier League. Fergie, Pep, Mourinho, Wenger. Does he rank above any of those? And you're saying top 5, 6?
I said-
You
I said
can-
fifth or sixth.
You can say that.
I mean,
Yeah, it's fifth.
No, you can even say if you wanted to, you could have a stronger argument. It's like amongst them, what small margins of
There's-
losing out by 1 point.
there's
Come on,
not
you can't
a-
really put that.
The only other guys that come close, like the 4 you've just mentioned, I think they are ahead. Maybe guys like Ancelotti
Nah,
And-
actually,
he's a good man.
and
Managers all over the world, Ancelotti's top 5 easy.
yeah, or
In the Premier
More
League,
in
he
the
only
Premier
managed
League.
Everton.
No, he managed Chelsea.
Oh,
yeah,
Managed
and even
Chelsea.
guys like he won the league.
Yeah, he won the league.
Ah,
That's what.
Conte,
Yeah, but
yeah,
the
Conte
thing
as
is,
well.
the thing is with Ancelotti, I don't think he deserves to be in that conversation.
He
So
was-
maybe we're talking about
he's
like
not
Brian
done
Clough.
enough, has he? Like, he's not the longevity he's lost.
Yeah,
on
if
him.
you're talking about even Benitez, I'll put over Ancelotti to be fair. But I'd say Brian. In fact, nah, actually, I'll take that back.
Yeah.
I'll say Brian Clough is up there. Obviously, Ferguson, Guardiola, Mourinho, Wenger as well. But I'd say number 1 is Ferguson, number 2 Pep, Mourinho I'd give 3rd, 4th Wenger, 5th Klopp.
Yeah,
that's my top 5.
Where do you put Claudio Rani?
He's done something incredible.
Top 10.
He's done
He's
something
top 10.
incredible.
He's
He's
top
got
10.
to be like for the team he had and the fact they were 5k to 1.
It's probably definitely top 10.
No, but
He's got to be in a conversation for
we
at
do,
least top 10.
we do need to measure about Mourinho because I remember Dan
Well,
always
he's
used to
nowhere
say
near 50.
Yeah.
Dan always used to say it in terms of look, we love Mourinho because of like his box office in it, but
He is
his lows are very low in terms of he got sacked from Chelsea.
He got sacked from United.
And
Tottenham as well.
And
Yeah.
his legacy post probably what Chelsea is.
That's when Mourinho
Exactly.
goes wrong. He loses his head.
So
and that's why he can never
That's
be
the
a
thing.
Ferguson.
How do you rank it in terms of? Do you rank it based on just purely peaks or?
No, their time
Everything.
in the Prem. Their time in the Prem.
So how can Mourinho be top 3 then if he's got 3
Chelsea.
He's not in my top 3.
Yeah.
15 goals conceded.
He's in my
all
top
season.
5.
I like Mourinho a lot, but
He's got-
I'll do it based on how
He's gotta
good
be
were you
top
at
5.
your best. So he probably is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he was unreal.
But we can't deny that.
For
he
me,
had
it's. I think my top 5 would be Alex Ferguson on top. Second, I would probably say. I think Pep just about edges it now. I hate to admit it. Then Wenger, then Mourinho, and then I'm still undecided on the 5th.
Now Klopp's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
Because of what he's achieved.
He's rebuilt the club. They're on the map.
He's put the club back on the
They were in the trenches after 13-14.
Should have stayed.
yeah, I think the next team we have to talk about and we have to give huge praise to is Aston Villa.
I agree.
Finishing Champions League.
Season.
So, guys, we're going to give our thoughts on Villa. I think Unai Emery, we just have to give him massive praise for the job that he's done at Villa. Obviously, a lot of people wrote him off at Arsenal, and he's come to Aston Villa, taken them from a mid-table team, and now has boosted them to Champions League football. So, I think even with the personnel as well, like Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, Diaby,
Yeah.
they've done really well.
Exactly, yeah. I have to admit, I like what he's doing at Villa because he's not the type of manager you would put at a big club. Like we saw that at Arsenal, he was not that great, bad evening and all that. But with Villa, he's got something to work with, and he likes to build blocks rather than like sell houses, if that makes sense. Like he's got something to develop, and he will develop it. Like Villarreal in the Europa League or Villa
Yeah.
there.
Sevilla.
He's got his
Sevilla as well. Yeah,
He's got a track record of developing players. Like Watkins for me has probably been one. I'd say.
John McGinn, Douglas
Yeah.
Luiz has been one of the best.
But even
midfielders.
like guys like Pau Torres getting a tune out of him, making him work. People
they
said
signed
people
him
said
was
he,
unbelievable.
people said he couldn't hack it because he's not strong enough. And then like getting Kamara on a free and Tielemans making that
He
work.
has done some brilliant business. Emi Martinez as well.
And
Like,
then-
think about that for a minute.
They've got a really
I
good
think that was
squad.
before him.
And I can see them
But he's
continuing
brought out the best in him
continuing
for
to
the
be with that
business, yeah.
like, with Newcastle, like being those two teams that kind of upset the apple cart, kind of those two. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Newcastle. I think they fell off since last season though.
That's injuries. Injuries.
Injuries, yeah, but Isak has been unbelievable, man. Like he'd walk into most teams. I think the only teams he wouldn't walk into is probably City and maybe arguably Liverpool. I don't know why I couldn't see a Liverpool shirt. He'd walk into any other team.
He starts over Nunes 100%.
He starts over Nunes, but like
Liverpool have a lot of attackers then.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
like,
he's a striker. Like Liverpool don't really have. Who's their striker?
Nunes and Jota.
Yeah, he's better than Nunes. Isak
is he? I mean,
Isak
Jota
is
on his day is
definitely
unplayable.
is better than Nunes, and I think Isak's probably on his day. At the moment, I'll take him over Jota. Personally.
Jota's very clinical. Very.
Yeah,
very,
but I'll
very
take
clinical.
Isak.
I'm taking exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Should we have a quick chat about?
I think we skipped a couple of teams here.
Yeah,
Tottenham. They started so well and they did what Tottenham do. They bottle
I
it.
think you have to give praise to Ange though. Ange has done very well.
I do like
And he
Ange.
doesn't give a shit at the outside.
I do like Ange. He's very to the point, and like he won't take no. And I feel like the way he's developed, like Udogi or Brennan Johnson, he's developed them well this season. That's only going to bring him good things going forward. Next season they're going to be a bit more of a threat. I
Even
reckon.
Sarr and Basuma as well. That midfield.
He saved Basuma's career.
Yeah.
like no
It
doubt.
was. But obviously they kind of fell off a cliff at the end. But yeah,
To start with,
I
we
mean,
thought they were going to win it.
What the thing is with them, like with West Ham, they've conceded the most goals in the Prem, apart from the 3 relegated teams. Like they have. People say they've been doing good, but they have. But their defense has also been pretty bad.
That's why you're a
So-
mid-table team. Good attack, good defend, bad
Yeah.
defence. That's always going to be a mid-table finish.
But also, Ange refuses to kind of change away from that, which you can admire it. But it's also like the argument we had a few years ago with Leeds. Do you remember?
Is he going to stay set in his ways and get something from it, or is he going to stay
I
set in
think
his
I
ways
think
and like, he's gonna move on?
another pre-season with the players, guys like Romero, Dragozan, Van de Ven, understand the
Van de Ven's
system.
been phenomenal.
Then maybe they can see like 60-odd goals. That's not good enough for a team that wants to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, but Van de Ven's been phenomenal all the time.
But to be honest, that's how football's going now. People aren't good defensively. This is the most goals the Prem.
Has ever seen.
The defensive-
It just keeps going up year on year. Though,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
exactly.
Talking of goals, the bottom 3, potentially the worst bottom 3.
no, it's not potential. It's the
It is
worst.
definitely
It's the
the
worst
worst
bottom
bottom
three,
3
isn't
we've
it?
ever seen. And this is probably a big issue that we have.
Bearing in mind, Everton and Forest had points deductions and they still finished up
Comfortably comfortably
Nah,
clear.
Forest weren't comfortable, but
No,
Everton.
but Everton were comfortable.
Luton weren't that bad.
Luton, I credit where
They
it's
still
due.
conceded a final goals.
Yeah, Luton are down now. They lasted till 2 days before the final day. Everyone wrote them off as 20th finish. I did. They fought against big teams. Every time United played them, it was challenging. It was only 1-0 and 2-1. We could have easily lost it. They gave Newcastle games. They smashed Brighton. They stood up. And that was
They
going to
gave
be hard
the
to
top
do.
teams a good close game.
Burnley and Sheffield United have been top 10 Premier League finishers recently. Luton have never had that. They've never touched the Premier League till this season.
Yeah.
And they had no star players or anything.
They had like a lot of Prem rejects.
They had a load of. They were a team of Premier League rejects, and they fought to stay.
For Sheffield.
And I genuinely would not mind seeing them in the Prem again. I say that now.
But yeah, Burnley and Sheffield were.
Sheffield United,
Yeah.
recently. Losing every game 5-0.
But yeah, they've got
I was not even talking about these guys. They're crap, man. I don't
think-
care. Like,
I think we should.
But it's
They're
a
crap.
point of thought because
yeah, I guess, but
the Premier League is competitive now.
yeah.
If you come up, you have to fight. You can't just cruise by and hope to beat teams that are.
You know what the issue is? When these teams come from the Championship, they try and come into the Premier League and implement the style of play that they play in the Championship into the Prem. But they need to realise that it's all about survival in the Premier League. You need to adjust. That's why you give credit to managers like Sam Allardyce and Sean Dyche and that type of manager.
Even Thomas Frank.
Yeah, like when they come into the league, they recognise that you can't be playing the same possession-based style of football. But Company, obviously, when it came up, Burnley wanted to play the same style of football.
I thought Burnley were going to finish so much higher than they did. I'm actually let down by it because they
They
were
were
pretty
never-
good.
Because of the thing, like they lost quite a few players as well. Sheffield as well, they lost their best player. So I think he went to Marseille.
Burnley were trying to sign Matson
They
and Teller.
lost. They lost
They
Nathan
couldn't keep
Teller.
them.
Nathan Teller's at Leverkusen
And
winning
Matson's
unbeaten treble
at
right now.
Dortmund.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Mad, isn't it?
I think.
Yeah, I think we should. If anyone, I think we're looking forward to next season.
Imagine
Teams
teams
like
Burnley,
Leicester. Who else is coming up?
Leicester will come out
Ipswich
with a
coming up.
That will be interesting.
That'll be interesting. So.
Then
Leicester
McKenna
will start
will be
with a
good
point
to see.
deduction.
And then
Yeah.
it's between Southampton and Leeds for the
I
final
think
spot.
it'll be
Or
Leeds.
Southampton, don't we?
Nah, I think it'll be Leeds. I think
No, I don't really care.
I think Leeds will-
Whoever wins,
I think it'll be
goes
more
down anyway.
competitive next year. The bottom.
yeah, definitely. Because
Oh,
these are
yeah.
Premier League teams.
Yeah, they're actually established.
These are Premier League
Forest and Brentford are teams I
Ipswich-
think
Ipswich-
next season
Ipswich's
might
heritage.
survive.
It's football heritage at Ipswich.
Biggest ever Premier League victory.
Sheeran.
United against Ipswich Town.
Ed Sheeran.
Should we end it off there?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, guys.
Didn't even talk about
See you
United,
next
I
season.
guess.